I'm nervous about. That's awesome.
You're doing a lovely job.
Thanks. Okay, so yeah, you know, just making a mess, cutting things up. I normally have my Willow. I have an 8-year-old, my Willow. She'd let me, you know, cleaning up. She'd be appalled if I had all this stuff all over the floor. So she helps me when I design. What I'm doing here really quickly is just opening up spaces in here, just cleaning this up, because I'm going to have to wire. Again, you know, that Fibonacci series is so obvious. It's like, you know, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. It's so awesome, and it goes, it spirals around. It's just, it's heavy. Okay. You'll note that, you'll note that there are dead branches and things of that nature all through here. I leave them on. The Japanese term for that is jin, and it means bone, right? The reason you leave them on is because they stay on in nature. You've seen it. Like the tree will have a dead branch that, you know, it's got so much lignin in it, it's got so much preservative in it, it'll just stay dead on the tree for centuries. Centuries. The bristlecone pines in the White Mountains of California are like 90% dead. You know, you have these gigantic things, they look like stumps. And there's this little living band of tissue in the windward side, the leeward side, that's not getting sandblasted, and everything else is dead. By the way, the nice sedate copy. We will now use power tools. Stand by. Yeah, okay. There's a Japanese thing, right? Like when they're utterly disgusted, they look like they've just eaten a lemon. At least my teacher was the example of it. Whenever somebody would use a power tool on Bonsai, he'd be like, it was horrible, you know, it's just like, it was just anathema. Never do it. That's what got me turned on by this guy, Dan. He used chainsaws. I was like, that's just great. Remember, kids, always use eye protection. So, what I just did there, really quick, was to impose a curve into something that was flat, right? Because flat doesn't happen, straight doesn't happen in ancient trees. So anytime there's something flat or straight, I'm going to just impose some kind of curve in it, just to add visual interest, right? So now I'm just going to do the backside of that. It's funny, the guy Dan, who I think is such a genius, he yells over the power tool during the lectures. I can't do it. Yeah, we do like, and at this point! He also says foot pedals are for sissies. You just do the whole tool at full power at all time. And yeah, no. I'm not doing that. God, I love how that smells. It's one of my favorite trees to carve on is juniper. It makes the whole house smell like hamsters. That's always good for a laugh. 10 years ago, that was good for a laugh. That's so awesome. Okay, I'm just going to unplug this because during lectures I've had tools like rip off the table. Okay, so I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm done cutting. And I know it's kind of nutty, but believe me, it's done. This is annealed copper. So the process of annealing means that the metal was heated to really cherry red, and then it was allowed to cool very rapidly, and it leaves all the little crystals in the metal in chaos. So it's quite soft now. The reason that copper is used is because copper has the property of work hardening, which means the more you bend and twist it, the harder it gets. So this is very strong copper. This is a slightly larger gauge that I'm going to use for the much bigger branches. This stuff like promotes unbelievable carpel when you do it. I've seen videos of people in China who do production bonsai for a living, and these are just like, they're like little old ladies with Popeye forearms. It's just awesome. This is anodized aluminum, or as my teacher used to call it, white man's wire, which I got a real kick out of because it's very soft and easy to use. So the Japanese are only now, after like 50 years, finally coming around to like, oh, okay, we'll use it. If you ask me, it's really because the commodity price of copper like skyrocketed over the last decade. Okay. There are some rules that I do follow, right? You know, yeah, I got the power tools and I babble uncontrollably while I'm doing this. The rules that I do follow is how to apply wire. And wire is, there's so many nerds in here, it is balanced binary trees is how you have to do wire. Ideally, you want to use as little wire as possible to achieve the greatest amount of effect. So it's like this optimization problem. You want to do multiple branches with one wire. This is not going to be a win here because this span here is too much. I could normally do that. Stand two, anchor here, wrap the tree, anchor there. This is impossible to bend with wire. I'll show you how we're going to bend that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to optimize this solution this way. I'm going to anchor furthest out. So outer, then inner, then inner, then inner. It's kind of cool. It's very mathematical. And this is how you wire. You place the wire in a direction of where the spin of the wire, the coil, is going to go to move the branch where you want it to be. If I wanted this branch to move subtly clockwise, which I do, I would start with clockwise spin. Anti, same thing. So here's what we're going to do. Just get this out of the way. And beginners who watch me do this wiring get set. I have 30 years experience doing this. So remember what I said, we're doing outer, outer. So I'm going here. I try to hit them at the outside of curves. It's a little trick, right? I used to be much faster. I cut the tip of my thumb off a couple of years ago, and it really slowed me down. So I'm handicapped now. This is how you know I'm not a master anymore. I forgot to cut that off. I didn't leave room here. And here, and then we're just going to end it. Pliers helps at the end, you know, because it really does. It work hardens, right? This copper is it's not only getting hot, it's getting hard, really difficult to work with. The more you work copper, the harder it gets. I think I said that. Am I being redundant?
Appropriately so.
Okay. Oh gosh, and boy is it. Rusty Oliver can explain that a lot better than me. Remember when I said I wanted to do a subtle clockwise spin? Now I'm going to do that subtle clockwise spin. I wanted to flatten this one out, and now I'm done. Very subtle. So much of this is from looking at trees. You know what I mean? If you were to ask me, why did you just spin that branch? Like, what, 6 degrees, 7 degrees? That's so tiny. Like your eye is not even going to distinguish that. I don't know. I just look at a lot of trees, and that's what I thought.